Today's topic is using storytelling to enhance your yoga brand online. Story, as you know, is the best way of convincing somebody or explaining your thought process. We've been brought up by our parents, our grandparents, by listening to stories, bedtime stories, stories during dinner time, stories during summer vacations by our grandparents. So, stories are very good medium of conveying the message. And today we are seeing how we can use stories which are relatable and memorable so that you can easily help your audience understand and retain what you have told. So, I'll talk about 5 secrets that can help you of how to use storytelling in enhancing your brand. The first secret is sharing your personal journey. If you are a yoga teacher, you have a story of how you got introduced to yoga. In my case, I start by telling my own personal experience of 2007. There was a day when my mother asked me to pick up something from the top shelf in the kitchen. So I reached out for the jar, and suddenly there was a pain in the lower back. The pain was so severe that I had to lie down on the floor. Only with the help of my mother on one side and my wife on the other side, I was taken to the bedroom and made to sleep on the bed. It was only when I reached the orthopedics clinic I got to know that I had minor slip disc. As a 32-year-old person, I was worried, what is it in the future for me? Now, this is a story that I tell of how I got introduced to yoga. Because of my minor slip disc, I got introduced to Yes Vyasa, which is a yoga university, where I helped regain strength in my lower back. Eventually, I did my yoga instructor course and Masters of Science in Yoga. Now, this is my story of how I got introduced to yoga. You might have your own story. Your story sells. Your story is relatable because everybody would be going through such a problem. The second secret is highlight student success stories. Like you told your story, you can also tell how your student who had migraine issue overcame migraine issue, how somebody who was obese and with regimented lifestyle plus practicing of yoga, 8 limbs of yoga, they are now leading a healthy life. So these stories also attract prospects. The third secret I have is using visuals to tell your story. You can talk about, if you've done yoga retreats, you can talk about the yoga retreats, or if you take your students over the Saturdays or Sundays to a new place where you do outdoor yoga, you can show photos of those outdoor yoga. You can tell why you did 108 Surya Namaskara in an open garden, because it helps you oxygenate your body. So all those visuals help you create more vivid stories. The other aspect, which is secret 4, where you can tell stories, is your values and mission. You can tell what values you have chosen to live by and why. There is a story behind that. In my case, one of the value I have is honesty. And I talk the story about when I was in my 7th semester of engineering, and I was asked a question of how many subjects I have failed. I lied to the interviewer, and the interviewer is able to catch the way in which my body language was. He knew that I was telling a lie. That day, I lost a golden opportunity to get a campus interview because of my lie. It was that day I decided to only speak the truth. That changed what my values were. So, honesty is my value. So, here is the story behind that value of honesty. Now, you can have your own set of values and missions and there would be a story for that, and let people understand the story. In my case, I stand for holistic health. I help holistic health coaches. How and why I chose holistic health could be a long story. The fifth and the final secret I have for all of you is engage your audience with interactive stories. Now, what are your interactive stories? Pick up any story, create a reel, and then post. Create a small social media campaign and post. Use hashtags. Start interacting with your audience. Look at comments, what your friends or your followers are talking about. Then engage with them in a dialogue through comments. If needed, give them a call and thank them for the way in which they have interacted. If you are still in the early part of your journey, you can still give a call or speak to them over a chat and establish a rapport. So, to conclude, stories are very powerful. You can use to tell stories to increase your brand image as a yoga teacher, and use any opportunity that you get to tell stories. My friends, stories are like bank balance. The more you practice, the more you tell your own stories, the more stories can you write in a book, and you can name it as stories book. The more you practice telling stories, the more instantly you could narrate through experiences, through stories of what you want to tell. So start your journey of telling stories, explaining through stories, convincing people through stories. My name is Veer Narayan Kulkarni. I am the CEO and founder of Holistic Health Society. I help yoga teachers and holistic health coaches go online. If you're interested, let me know. I would wish to you to be part of this community. You can join our community for free as a VIP member. Comment in the comment section below and I'll reach out to you and we'll take it forward from there.